do a pre-speech right now? Yes. Okay. Okay, everyone. My name is Richard Lewis Brown, the Local 1000 president. Today is August 27th, 2021. As you know, we are all here today. We're excited. This is a CCC closure and union rights protest rally. I'm going to say it again. We are here today. We are excited. All right. Listen, they're on their way down from Lassen County, and we're waiting for them. I want to make sure that when they get here, we give them a lot of love, a whole lot of love. I am excited to do this. This was a surprise to me. This wasn't planned. When I ran for office, I did not know that I'd be fighting for people in Lassen County. And you know, today is really about respect and dignity for everyone in America. And we start with our union, Local 1000. We start by creating a culture of excellence by showing love and respect for each other, regardless of our different views. All right? Now, normally when I do these videos, I say they're live and unscripted, unedited. Here we go. This is live. Now, I have the little speeches that the smart people wrote out for me, and I'll read some of those speeches, that I promise you. And normally when I start my videos, I tell you I believe in God through Jesus Christ. All right. Now, that doesn't mean in this great country that I'm forcing my religious beliefs upon you. As the Local 1000 president, you are free to choose whether you believe in a religion or you choose not to believe in a religion. Again, we're here today to fight for Lassen County. And so I'm using my freedom of speech that I currently still have in this great country. All right? And so I always tell people, Ishmael and Isaac, I am here for you. And to all others, I am still here for you. I will treat you with love and respect equally. And we started with our union, with our contract. And we're not going to be bullied or intimidated by no one. Not by the powers to be, under no type of situation that they claim we're under. We are here today to fight for Lassen County, but we're also here today to ensure we enforce our contract. Many people have said, Richard, why are you so in love with Lassen County? You know, it's funny. I spell Lassen County a capital P, A-C-I-F-I-C. That's how I spell Lassen County. That's how I show my love to Lassen County, by spelling it with a capital P, A-C-I-F-I-C, Pacific Ocean. What does that really mean? What does that really mean? That I'm showing love to these people who don't look like me. They drive pickup trucks, and I always tease them about that. Pickup trucks and long rifles and shotguns. They go hunting and fishing. And you know what? I love it. I love it. I love it. Because I can still show them equal love because they are represented by our union. In fact, there are so many people up in Lassen County represented by different unions. It's not just Local 1000. Other public sector unions have people in Lassen County. And this attempted prison closure is wrong, unwarranted, unneeded. And the last thing the people in Lassen County thought would someone be a leader down here in Sacramento would give them a voice. Because I'm being told they have a minority voice. Well, I kind of like minorities. Yep. I thought in this great country, minorities had a voice. At least that's what they told me yesterday. We're going to enforce our contract. And I know our country is deeply divided, but Local 1000, we will not be divided on this issue about our contract. And many of you in Local 1000, you are screaming to the top of your lungs, vaccinate. I love you. I'm vaccinated. You probably didn't know that part, though. And many of you say that you want to have the right to choose what you do with your body. All right. I love you, too. It appears I'm loving two different people. Thank you. Listen, when these people get here today from Lassen County, these beautiful people, American people, we're going to show them a lot of love and a lot of respect. See, they thought that their lives didn't matter. They thought they were forgotten about, that no one cared about them. And I remember last summer, right here at the Capitol, there were a lot of marches. A lot of marches for social justice. And there's nothing wrong with social justice in this great country. But as the union president of Local 1000, my justice is for everyone equally, regardless of your skin color. My justice for you is financial justice, the enforcement of your contract. It doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter what political party you belong to. It doesn't matter if you're a big shot, AGPA or research analyst. I see you, custodians. Trust me, I see you. I'm going to love and respect everybody in this union. We're going to have dignity and respect for everyone by enforcing our contract. And I know many of you in this union said, Richard, are you going to talk about that telework? Sure I am. And we start by talking about telework with Lansing County, because many of those people need to telework. Are you going to talk about the essential worker premium pay that we haven't received yet, even though we are $27 billion from the federal government and $76 billion in surplus from the state government? Where's our money, Richard? I got the message. See, today, we're going to talk about a lot of different things. I was told to get up here today. I'm going to have these great speakers talk today about the prison closure, the attempted prison closure. And then they told me, okay, Richard, wrap things up and talk for like 2 or 3 minutes. And they know I don't talk like that. They say you're not going to be able to hold people's attention for more than 3 to 5 minutes. And so the man from Ireland, that man from Ireland said, Richard, it's on you. But it's not just on me today. It's on all of us to work together in Local 1000. It's up to us to send a message to its other public sector unions in the state of California. Enforce your contract. Do your job. Fight for your people. That's what a union does. That's why unions were created in this great country. Wages, working conditions, safe working conditions, high quality wages, not a livable wage where you live day to day and you have to beg someone to help you. A union fights for substantial wages. That's what a union does. And by enforcing our contract, that's what we're going to be doing. Fighting for a substantial wage in our next contract. So today is more than just about this attempted closure of CCC up there in Susanville. It's more than just the fact that they're producing these great inmate firefighters that help fight the fires up there in Lansing County. It's more than just that. It's more than just the fact that when we stop this prison closure, we're going to stop all prison closures up and down this state. It's more than just that. It's about all of us coming together, learning to love and respect each other in this great country. Because right now, this country is divided. That's where we're at in this country. And it's wrong. And the last thing they expected, and I'm going to say it, and I say it with respect, the last thing they thought was mama's black boy to come and help the good white folks in Lansing County. They didn't expect that one. No, they didn't. And I know people say, well, Richard, play it safe, be politically correct, don't say anything wrong. That's not how I got here. That's not the destiny that I have to fulfill. We are going to fulfill our destiny. So I'm going to cut this a little short. When they get here on the buses, let's give a good shout out for Lansing County and all those people. Let them know that even though they live in the country, life started in the country, in this great country. Then we had the cities. But somehow people forget where they come from. I have not forgot where I come from. And so when I say Lansing County with a capital P-A-C-I-F-I-C, and you say, what does he really mean by that? People back in Missouri, they know what I'm saying. People in North St. Louis, they know what I'm saying. I'm still mama's black boy. I'm still a proud descendant of slavery that came to this country. And even though my family didn't come over as immigrants, So what? I still love this country. I'll still die for her. All right? So we study our past so we can prepare for the present and get ready for the future. And when we look back in the past, Local 1000, oftentimes we have let people down. Those days are over. You got a fighter for a leader now. A fighter that's going to enforce these contracts. And the next contract we get as myself as the chief negotiator, we're going to have a real contract. And when I tell you I love you, that means you will not lose 1 day of pay, 2 days of pay, 3 days of pay while under a signed contract. I will not roll over. We will not give up our money while under a signed contract for no situation at all. We're going to prioritize and protect our families here in Local 1000 the same way these individuals over here prioritize and protect their families during this last fiscal period. I am proud to be here today. I am Richard Lewis Brown, the Local 1000 president. They'll be here shortly. As you know, sometimes things don't run on script. Sometimes you got to go off script. Sometimes you can't always drive down the Pacific Coast Highway and look at the beautiful Pacific Ocean. Sometimes you got to go off road. Sometimes you have to go on some gravel, on some dirt roads to find a path. And that's what we're doing today. We're a little off script. Things may not be perfect, but we're aiming for perfection by creating a culture of excellence for Local 1000. I'm Richard Lewis Brown. Thank you for your time.
1000 family, I just want to give everybody, as you're approaching, if you haven't signed in yet, over to this side near the causeway, we have our sign-in tents where you can also make some signs, so please make sure you sign in if you haven't done that as well. We have break tents towards the back, and we have porta potties over on the other side of the bushes along the road, so make sure you are aware where that's at. We also have first aid tents over here to my right, your left. We should be getting started shortly, and welcome everybody to our Lansing County rally. Thank you so much. Welcome, welcome, Local 1000 family. Woo! Let's get this started. We're about to start our program. I just want to give a few things. If you haven't had a chance to sign in as you're getting off the bus, coming here to the Capitol, make sure you sign in. We have our sign-in tables over here to my left, your right. We have break tents towards the back. We have first aid stations over here. And we have some services along the road in case you have to, look for a porta potty. Anyways, without further ado, I want to get this program started. We have an exciting day today. So first off, everybody, if you're here joining us, can you just come here to the middle? We want to be able to see your faces, hear your voices. Let's get loud. Let's get strong. Appreciate it. Come on, everybody. Let's get this going. Woo! All right. So without further ado, I would like to welcome to the stage our very own, our very proud President of SEIU Local 1000, Richard Lewis Brown. Let's give him a warm applause and welcome to the stage.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Richard Lewis Brown, the Local 1000 president. As you can see, we're being safe, and he's wiping everything down. Thank you. Okie dokie. I'm excited. Today is August 27th, 2021. Local 1000 president, Richard Lewis Brown. That is me. We are glad that we are here today. As you see, I'm doing something I normally never do. I got a little script. And I'll stay with the script until it's time to go four-wheeling. All right, so here we go. Good morning, everyone. I want to thank everyone for coming out to support this protest today, the CCC closure and union rights protest rally. Thank you for coming out. Each one of you play a crucial role in our union standing up for our rights. Not some of you, but each one of you. We are currently awaiting our delegation, but guess what? They're here. Lassen County is here. Thank you. All right. Now, they have come down all these hours, and even though they may lose their jobs, their homes, maybe their minds, because of this unwarranted, unneeded prison closure, they still came down anyway. Praise God. Praise God. All right. So we're here today to be heard loud and clear. Wait, I didn't say that right. We are here today to be heard loud and clear. All right. Let me say this. Local 1000, we're not going anywhere. Let me say it for you again. Local 1000 is not going anywhere ever. Ever. All right? Don't let these people tell you that Richard Lewis Brown is not here for you. I'm here for Lassen County. I'm here for this entire union. The Tim Drapers and all these other so-called individuals who want to destroy our union, not having it. Not having it. Now, many people are afraid to come out today. They say the people from Lassen County, they say they're coming down in those pickup trucks, and they're going to be out of control. well, hold on. Let me stay on script. This is a peaceful protest. A peaceful protest. That's what we do in this great country called America. Peaceful protest. Will we be loud? Absolutely. Will we be clear? You better believe it. Now, I am so glad everyone is here. We have some great speakers today. In fact, the next speaker is our VP, Organizing and Representation, Annika Walls. She's going to come up and give you a great speech, and then we'll have more speakers behind her. I cannot tell you enough how much it means to see people here. Don't let the negativity and the evilness destroy us. We will survive. That's a promise. I'm Richard Lewis Brown. So let's welcome to the stage Annika.
Good morning, everybody. Bienvenidos. How are you? I I'm Anika Walls, your Vice President for Representation and Organizing, and I'm happy to be here with you to stand up for you, us, our members, right? Woo! I want to thank you all especially for being here today during this pandemic that never seems to be ending, to stand together in solidarity with our union brothers and sisters who are being affected by the proposed closure at CCC in Susanville, and to demand that the governor adhere to our contract. I'm proud to be a state worker. For the past 15 years, I've worked for the Department of Social Services as a disability evaluation analyst, ensuring that people with disabilities receive the financial assistance they need to live. I help disabled individuals to get vital resources to help them continue to live with dignity and to allow them some financial freedom while focusing on their health and well-being. Like most state employees, I love my job. I also enjoy the benefits afforded to me as a public servant, such as our pensions and our union. Woo! But there are times when that joy as a state employee are stolen from us, whether by bad bosses, department closures, our pay is affected and our contracts' rights are violated. And as state workers, we sometimes have to bear the brunt of that, of financially helping the state during economic downturns through furloughs, closures, and we are the ones that ensure that this state keeps running. So where is our essential pay, our hero pay? The COVID pandemic has impacted all of us in our private and our lives at work. Although the state did take some action to stop the spread at work by implementing telework, the majority of state workers are still in the offices and they are being exposed. This Delta variant is rapidly spreading and the virus is continuously mutating. Let's be real. Not all the state offices are adhering to these guidelines, nor are they providing the appropriate PPE necessary to keep us safe at work. But to place vaccine and mask mandates without a conversation with our union is not okay. We should not stand for that. Making decisions that affect our members, their families, and these communities is not okay. We need a conversation with our union. We need to demand that our contract and its rights that we fight hard for are not violated. We are not going to stand idly by while members' rights are being trampled on. We will fight to keep us safe. We will fight to ensure that members' jobs are protected. And when the state tries implementing changes without coming to the bargaining table, we will fight hard to uphold our contract and protect you, us, our members. When we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. Workers united shall never be divided. Let's go, people. Workers united shall never be divided. Workers united shall never be divided. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for coming out. Morning. My name is Margaret Brown. No relation to Richard Brown. Although I will tell you, I think we are related because I speak out and I speak up for what I believe in. And that's why I'm here this morning. So again, Margaret Brown, and I'm your advocate on the CalPERS board. I want you to know that I'm speaking for myself. I'm required to say so, or the CalPERS board president will punish me. So I'm here speaking for myself, but I really wish I was speaking for all the board members, and more were here today, because I'm here to support SEIU 1000 workers. I'm here to support actually all workers' jobs in Lassen County that will be lost because of the unneeded closure of CCC. You know, as Californians, we need to be safe in our homes, at work, and out and about in the community. And in order to be safe, we need the police, the district attorney, the courts, and the prisons operating efficiently, effectively, and collaboratively. And what's happened is a decade of laws passed by voters and the legislature has made our cities and towns a dangerous place to live and work. Crime is dramatically rising, and we are not safe. In my county, San Bernardino County, in the last 10 days, a San Bernardino deputy sheriff was ambushed, and 2 San Bernardino police officers were critically wounded by an individual who benefited from the early release laws. And I think, Tiffany, both officers are recovering. Is that correct? Yeah. I'm here with Tiffany Iman Moran. She's running for the CalPERS board, and she's a retired police officer. So they are recovering. But it's because of the early release laws that this individual was out and was able to ambush and shoot 2 CalPERS board members, CalPERS beneficiaries, and it's just unsafe. We should not be closing prisons and letting criminals out into the general public. It's unsafe for our kids, it's unsafe for our families, and it's unsafe for our communities. And I know we've all been victims of these crimes one way or another. Specifically for CCC in Lassen County, I know the courts have issued an injunction, and for those of you who pray, I do thank God for that, and I thank God for the judges the judge that's making a fair ruling for you. And we need to keep the prison open, because the decision to close CCC will destroy jobs and devastate Lassen County, and we cannot stand for that. If we stand together, we can save the CCC. So I pledge to do everything in my power as an individual on the CalPERS board to save your jobs and keep CCC open, because more than ever, California residents need public safety. So let's work together and save CCC. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Mindy Schuster, Mayor of Susanville, California. Thank you. I want to thank the public today for the invitation to speak. I'm going to give you a little background about myself. I was born and raised in Susanville. My family has lived in Susanville since the 1940s. My father has owned a business on Main Street for almost 50 years. My grandson is the 6th generation of our family to have a Susanville address. My husband retired after working at California Correctional Center for 31 years. Growing up in Susanville, I have many memories of the California Correctional Center's rehabilitation programs. Besides academics, they were taught vocational trades such as baking, becoming barbers, auto body repair, upholstery, and firefighting, just to name a few. Over the years, a lot of the programs have been dropped, but they have kept their excellent firefighting program. The CCC firefighting program allows the inmates to work directly with CAL FIRE all over California while still incarcerated. They are definitely ready to fight fires once released. Having inmates parole from CCC and head all over California while firefighting gives them the tools to better themselves, their families, and their communities. In light of this year's fire season, the benefits of this program have become apparent. As per Lassen County's 2020-2021 grand jury report, CCC is professional. It's clean and well ran. The report also said, financially, CCC has been operating in the black. No discrepancies were noted. Also, the report stated that all inmates that were encountered by the grand jury spoke highly of the prison staff. CCC is self-sufficient and is doing what California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation wants. They are rehabilitating inmates. There is no reason to close it. Since CDCR announced their plans to close CCC, Susanville City Council has opposed it. Susanville proper will be hit hard if this goes through. CCC is the second largest employer in Susanville. We are looking at a loss of approximately 1,000 jobs. An example of that domino effect is our hospital would be hurt, our restaurants, individual and family services, general merchandise stores, doctor's offices, governmental enterprises. All of these would be impacted should this go through. The hardworking citizens who work at CCC are involved in our community. They coach our children. Some own small businesses in our community. They contribute to our small society in big ways and have become a huge part of our community. These upstanding citizens deserve to stay at a workplace they chose. CCC is in Susanville city limits and thus falls under the jurisdiction of the Susanville City Council. Although CDCR and the city of Susanville have worked well together since 1963, when I sent an email to CDCR, they told me they would be attending a county supervisors meeting. I took that as they had no interest in meeting with the city council. That is the only response I have received from them. I have written directly to the governor regarding this matter with no response. We were left with no choice but to file that injunction. On Monday, thank you. On Monday, August 23rd, Superior Court Judge Mark Nareau ruled in favor of the city of Susanville by granting us an injunction which stops all efforts to close California Correctional Center, while we litigate their CEQA violations and their failure to follow penal code. The city of Susanville wants a chance to talk to the governor about keeping CCC open and look at options to keep the jobs and rehabilitation programs in our city. In closing, I would like you all to know, if this can happen to our second largest employer, it can happen to yours. Please remember to vote on September 14th. Thank you for your time today.
Good morning. Thank you, everybody, for coming. My name is Quincy McCord. I'm on the City Council up in the city of Susanville. That's the mayor, Mindy Schuster. She actually does kick ass. We're up here because we care. So when I'm looking out at everybody, I know many of you got on a bus and actually rode maybe comfortably down here, which is pretty awesome. Maybe it's important to paint a picture because when I'm standing here, I'm hella nervous, just like before every single wrestling match, even if I was going to win. But I don't know if I'm talking to people that live in the same area that I live in, or if I'm talking to the governor, or if I'm talking to the Sacramento administration. The point is, who am I talking to? Because if I just want to say, don't shut us down, that's a simple message, we get it. Or do I want to say, don't just shut down CCC, give us more money? Why the hell would I want to ask you to give us more money? For many different reasons. Let me paint another picture. Okay. Susanville. There's a basketball team over here called the Kings, and the stadium that they play in when they're playing home game can host 17,600 people. Well, we can fit our entire city in there. And at the same time, if that stadium maxed out to its full capacity were to be representative of the people of California, we would host 4 places in that stadium. However, growing up in Susanville, coming down to watch the games or even go to the A's game or the Giants game or any sort of musical venue, I always ran into people from Susanville that I knew. So somehow we infiltrate and we influence the type of state we want to live in. So, being that we're small, let us please not be ignored, because that's not the point. I also ask, let's give the city love. Let's give CCC more money so we can improve our program. The mayor talked about rehabilitation. Well, that's part of the game changing. If we want to be the best in the world, why not make us the best rehabilitation program in the entire world? And we can do that here in the state of California. Thank you. And we can do that in Lassen County, and we can do that in the city of Susanville, because we are at the juxtaposition of the coniferous forest and the high desert. And up there you have a direct plug into nature, which is healing. If you've ever had a garden, it's amazing. So, in Susanville, we have healing power, we have opportunity, we can change the world. So why would you shut down something that has the resume and the capacity to continue its mission and not build on it? More perspective. If you were to take the 5,000 square miles that we're comprised of in Lassen County and compare that to the 164,000 square miles of the state of California, well, that's about 3%. So if you're to go back to the stadium, we make up 4 out of the 17,600 people. We're very small with respect to our voice, but if we come together and we harness this energy of the people here and the people home and the rest of the people in California that actually want to be the best and make some sort of change that isn't just putting people behind bars and watching them sit, we can influence people. So if we want to reduce the prison population, maybe we can achieve that not by letting people out, but by setting contributing minds free. How do you convert a mind that wants to take into a mind that wants to contribute, and then prepare them to be a part of the community? Education, love, rehabilitation. And can you do that just anywhere? Well, let's go back to that 5,000 square acres that makes up Lassen County. It would take of all the people in our entire county, it would take 14 of our Lassen counties to make up 1% of the population of the state of California. However, if you were to take 14 of our Lassen counties by area, we would make up almost 50% of the overall acreage in the state of California. Now, the point is our people to land ratio and why it's different, why CCC is different, not just because we've already done it. If you look over there, you see that beautiful girl, not the human, the dog. That's my dog, Millie. So Courtney was setting up some tents the other day for a few evacuees from a nearby fire, people that had to leave their home and come and stay at our high school. And while she was there were some inmates helping set up tents, and they recognized Millie. And why did they recognize her? Because of the sick program called Pups on Parole, where they not only trained Millie to be a sweet pup, at the same time, they learned how to train, and they learned how to connect, and they learned how to be part of something better than just a drop in the pond. But in Susanville, we are a drop in the pond that makes a ripple, that makes a wave, and we're here to influence. So, don't shut us down. Let's talk about rehabilitation. Why shut us down when you can give us more money and maximize our investment? When it comes to decision making, we have 3 choices. We can waste, we can spend, or we can invest. And the moment we make every decision an investment, we are scratching the surface of efficiency. And efficiency is always improving on what would otherwise be cyclical. Why is that important? Because in this society, we have stress, we have jobs, we have mortgages, we have potential loss of jobs. For example, the people that are here right now, we've got so many stress factors. At some point, somebody's going to break. Okay, with respect to the people in prison, 1 out of every 222 people end up in prison. That means that somebody here has either potentially been in prison, not just worked there, but been in prison, incarcerated, or maybe will go to prison. Hopefully that doesn't happen. That's just statistics. So again, how do we make it happen? Well, at some point, somebody's going to stress out and break, and they're going to end up behind bars, and it's up to us to focus on giving them a life back. If you come up to where the best smell in the world is, which is sagebrush, and everything else that Lassen County has, you know that you can disappear from the madness, and you can run away from the noise, and you can escape from any sort of criminal intent that you once were comprised of, and now you can let it go, and you can be part of something. You can be part of a team. You can put out fires, or you can train dogs, or you can train horses. You can fall in love, and you can come back to the dinner table. Nancy Cardenas, we were talking about, when your kid gets in trouble and you send him to the room, you still let him come back and eat with you. Well, when our kids get in trouble, we send them to the prison, and they come back, and now we don't give them a job, or we don't let them work because they effed up somehow. Well, that's pretty sad. In Susanville, and in Susanville alone, nowhere else in California, we can be the best. So, Governor or Sacramento administration, don't focus on simply shutting down CCC. Give us more money and allow us to improve our program to be the best in the entire world. And I think you all hella rock, and this is embarrassing.
Good morning. Gary Bridges, Lassen County Supervisor, and I'll tell you what, I'm fired up. How about you? You know what? I'm fired up because wrong is wrong and right is right, and what they're doing is wrong. Period. End of story. But I want to give you some reasons why. I was born in Susanville in 1950. I've lived there all my life. I remember when California came in and wanted to build CCC. They promised the world. They said, we'll take care of you. They're taking care of us. How do you like it? Anyway, I'm not very happy right now. They're destroying our community. They're destroying our economy. I've got a prepared thing from Sacramento State College, or the State University. We have a small community. We cover a big area. We're not a rich community, but it's going to be roughly 1,800 jobs done away with the trickle-down effect. And the effect yearly will be $160 million to our community. I don't know what that means to you, but it means devastation to an incredible county I've lived in all my life, and I'm upset. I'm really upset. And the appreciation that we've got from the state capitol sucks. I don't have any other word for it. It sucks. As a supervisor, we've sent letters. I can tell you how many responses we've got. 0. 0. They don't care. I'm upset. We had some of their representatives come up and explain to us what they were doing. They said we were mean to them, and all we did was call them back in the room and ask them simple questions about simple procedures, and they couldn't answer any of them. You know why? Because they haven't done any of them. None. 0 again. Then there was a call, Zoom call with our CAO, Richard Egan. It's supposed to be the supervisors, supposed to be city council. Both Brian and Megan Dolly, the head person from CDCR, and a lady called Ana Montesantos. First time I didn't know who this lady was. Well, she's on the board for the governor. She got on the call and she said, this won't take long. She says there's money on the table for a little bit of recovery if you take it today. Tomorrow it'll go down, and the next day it'll go down farther. Well, that was several months ago. They're probably down to zero by now. But you know what? To me, it's like putting a carrot in front of a horse and getting him halfway down the racetrack, and then he doesn't go any farther. We have an incredible organization in Lassen County. We produce the best firefighters the state has. They're already taking them away from us. If you go back in history and look at the awards that CCC has gotten for training firefighters, they're the best west of the Mississippi. That's pretty incredible. And I think the state kind of realized it, because last year, they just dropped just an extra $48 million into our prison for 2 kitchens and a complete medical facility, and they're going to close it today. That kind of upsets me again. We're back to zero, in my opinion, of what's going on. How many other prisons can give you facts that they operate in the black? I can tell you how many. There's 3 in the state. CCC is one of them. They produce the best firefighting asset that we have in the North State. I was a timber falling contractor all my life. I didn't see myself doing this, but I see myself fighting for my community, fighting for my friends, and fighting for what's right. Probably the reason I'm here, I was on grand jury for 2 years, and I realized I could do more for my community. I went to some of the fire camps. They performed their tactics and showed us what they could do. That same fire camp I was at up out of Beaver, California is shut down now. They turned it over to CAL FIRE. There's a lot of the camps shut down. In Modoc County, they shut one down. Strategic placed fire camps to keep our forests from burning. We've got the 2nd largest fire in California burning at my back door right now. 3 days ago, it was over 500 miles of fire line. And you know what? I went down to the meetings every morning and met with those guys so I could get the information out to my constituents and the people in my county. And all I could hear is they're shutting down the best thing that they have going for fighting fire. That was from the incident commander from CAL FIRE. I ate lunch there a couple of times while I was there and got to know some of the captains and stuff that run the inmate crews. They found out I'm a supervisor and I was going to fight for their rights to keep fighting and training inmates so they'd have a life after prison. It's the #1 rehab program in the state. I can go on and on and on, but I just want you to know the wrong thing is the wrong thing, and this is exactly what it is. I feel that we've been hit by the Gestapo of California on this. That's exactly how I feel. So I thank each and every one of you for being here. Fight the fight. My dad always told me, if you're going to be a bear, be a grizzly. Well, Lassen County is full of grizzlies. We don't give up.
That was successful. No Joe Biden on the steps, so I'm happy so far. So my role up here is to tell you why CCC isn't the prison to close, and then to tell you why it is a prison they are closing. First of all, the California Correctional Center was built in 1963. The prison systems consist of 12 prisons that we call the original 12, and then the 22 or so that we built from the 80s, the late 80s through the 90s. And let me introduce myself. My name is Hunter Angel. I worked at the California Correctional Center for 25 years. I worked for the Department of Corrections for 37 years. I retired as the warden at Sierra Conservation Center, which is a sister institution to CCC with the same mission. We train firefighters at both those prisons. So I have a little knowledge on the Department of Corrections. And my personal opinion, I have respect for the people in CDCR headquarters. And I know they're professionals, and I'm convinced this is not their decision. This would not be the prison they would choose to close, and now I'm going to tell you why. California Correctional Center, the original 12, is the second to last one built. We have prisons like San Quentin and Folsom built in the 1800s, and prisons built in the 1930s, 1940s, and then CCC and SCC were built in the 60s. So because our prisons are falling apart, the old prisons especially, they did an assessment 2 years ago, 2019. They paid an outside firm to come in, paid them millions of dollars to assess the original 12 prisons. They came up with a cost to replace everything. Roofs, everything that needed at each of those prisons, boiler houses, whatever. CCC's was the lowest price tag of the 12. I can tell you that their price tag is a lot of money, $503 million. They house not only camp inmates, but level 1 and level 2 inmates in dorms. CRC and CIM have the exact same mission. They house level 2 or level 1 and level 2 inmates in dorms. Do you know what the price tag is to bring CRC up? $1.11 billion, twice as much as CCC. That same report, CIM, $1.22 billion, almost 1.5 times as much as CCC. So as a taxpayer, why would I close a prison that's going to cost half as much to repair? I wouldn't. Also, the Legislative Analyst's Office, which their mission statement says they're the eyes and ears of the legislature to prevent executive overreach. That's the governor's executive officer, okay? Their job is to prevent that. They put out a report June 30th of 2020, the end of the fiscal year. They had the cost to house an inmate at a prison in there. CCC's annual cost, $55,000 a year per inmate. Pretty expensive, right? Until you look at CRC's. Theirs was $83,000 a year. You want to look at CIM? I don't remember the number, but I know it was over $100,000. So CCC is cheaper to run today. It's going to be cheaper to run in the future. They have the mission of the fire camps. I was, as a warden, about 2 years and 1 month ago, asked, could we support northern fire camps? So you understand fire camps. It used to be 19 in Southern California, 18 in Northern California. Because of the reduction in inmate population, they closed 4 up north and they closed 4 down south. They asked me as a warden, could I support the northern fire camps? My answer was 2 letters, no. From Jamestown, where that prison's at, to Pelican Bay, basically, Alder Camp, it takes you 8 hours and 12 minutes to get there. How can I go pick up an inmate that's a disciplinary problem when it's a 16-hour drive? I can't. Oh, with Roman County Jail. I have a lot of experience where the county jails refuse to take state inmates because either they're full or they don't want COVID or whatever it is. So that's not an option. So I made that decision and gave that input as the warden at the prison that's now going to take over responsibility at California Correctional Center. I'm sure they didn't ask him. He didn't get a choice in that. In my 37 years, I spent 2 years at fire camp. During those 2 years at fire camp, I had inmates that paroled from our camp would call us up, myself, some of my other officers, some of the CAL FIRE captains that they worked for, and they were proud of what they were doing. They were being successful. They weren't using drugs. They were doing well on parole, or they got off parole, and they were working. Some of them got married, and they would call us back. Do you know the 35 other years I worked at the department when I wasn't at fire camp? You know how many inmates called me? 0. Exactly. We made impacts on those people's lives at camp. It's because of the mission, not as much the individuals, but the mission that we had. And our mission is to train them to be firefighters. They go out there. If you've ever been around a big wildfire, you'll see the communities that they're fighting the fire to save. There's big banners everywhere. Thank you, firefighters. You're our heroes. that's uplifting those inmates. It gives them some self-worth. Some of them have minimal work ethic or none before they come in. But then they get motivated by seeing stuff like that. They learn trades. Almost every fire camp has a sewer pond. We train the inmates with a CAL FIRE employee to be a wastewater operator. He needs 2,000 hours of hands-on. Where do you get that? You get that in prison at a fire camp. And then when he gets out of prison, he can walk into a $60,000 to $100,000 a year job. And I've seen many inmates do that. I have seen inmates leave a fire camp under escort by a correctional officer, go on a Saturday to take a state examination, so when they paroled, they would be on a hiring list for the state. That doesn't happen in prison. It happens in fire camp. And so I covered the costs. What I didn't cover was the penal code. As a government, we're supposed to follow the law, especially when we write the laws. So Penal Code 2067 says that, and this was passed in 2018, it's a new law. A lot of these legislatures pass that. It says that all contract facilities will be closed before any state-owned prison. Well, CCC is owned by the state. California City in Southern California is a contract facility that houses 3,000 California inmates. So they violated their law, okay? The second penal code section they violated was 5003.7, which says they have to take into account all the budgetary things I said. They have to look at how much money's been put in that prison recently, how much money is going to cost that prison long term, and what's their mission. That's what Mr. Bridges was talking about. They didn't go through that process at all. Now I'll tell you why it's CCC. Does everybody know Lassen County had the highest per capita of registered voters sign the recall Newsom petition? Does everybody know that? Okay. This is plain political retribution. I am a Republican, okay? If a Republican was doing this to a Democrat, you think I'd be happy about it? Because I know it can flip in one election. This is wrong. They picked on this community because of the way they vote, not because of the way the prisons run, not the mission of the prison, not the physical structure of the prison. And so this is purely political, okay? That's why we're here, and that's why I'm going to ask everybody to recall Gavin Newsom on September 14th.
Hold on a second. Wait a minute. Oh, boy, Lassen County's here. Well, wait. Before we have Sophia Perkins comes up. Local 1000 on June 2nd, the board of directors took a vote. And that vote said to give $1 million, because I'm trying to give you $2 million to set aside. So $1 million to SIU State Council to help this current governor fight his recall. And the second part of that vote on June 2nd was Local 1000 takes the official position to oppose the recall. With that being said, the official position of Local 1000 is to oppose the recall. So you say, well, Richard, why the hell are we here? Because Richard Lewis Brown supports you, because we're going to enforce our contract. Because remember what I said earlier? We're not just here about the CCC attempted, unwarranted, unneeded closure. We're here about enforcing our contract. So the official position of the union is to oppose the recall. But I say to you, as an American, I cannot tell you how to vote. Okay? As an American, I cannot tell you how to protect your family. All right? In our union, there are many people who have strong opinions about voting and non-voting. But I want to be crystal clear because I don't want the haters and the evil ones to say that Richard told Lassen County to come on down to Sacramento and say the things that you've said so far. I don't control your voice. You're an American, and I'm not going to censor your voice. All right? And even though in this state you may be a minority, your life matters. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Good morning still. My name is Sophia Perkins. I'm a 19-year state employee, current job steward and district labor bargaining unit representative for Unit 4. I just wanted to say, Susanville, I remember going up there and we started this in a restaurant in your community. And now we're doing rallies at the Capitol. So I'm actually going to change the pace for a little bit. As former bargaining unit 4 chair, in my experience, I have also helped negotiate 2 contracts. Being the bargaining unit chair from 2012 to 2018, I know the hard work it goes into negotiating and fighting for a contract. And this becomes a law with the state of California, right? So when the governor announced that he was going to mandate vaccines, without properly meeting and conferring with us, as a former chair, I knew our contract was being violated. When he mandated us to stay home, he took his family to Montana. When he mandated the restaurants to be closed, he went to the French Laundry and had his meal, right? But he mandates us. We have a contract that is a signed law that you need to respect and understand that we will fight for it. As I stated, the purpose of our contract with the state of California is to promote harmonious labor relations between the state and our union, establish an equitable and peaceful process for the resolutions of differences, and to establish rate of pay, hours of work, and working conditions of employment and health and safety. This mandate for the vaccine is a change in our working conditions, and the governor and CalHR and our departments need to meet and confer before it is implemented. Therefore, it should never be acceptable for our contract to be disregarded in such a manner. This protest is not about a particular position on the vaccine or wearing masks. Rather, it is to ensure that our contract continues to not be disrespected. And if we allow it to be disrespected this time, it's just a matter of time before more and more of our contract and our rights are taken away just because of a mandate. This is why I am here today, to ensure that we continue to fight for our contract and our rights. A mandate doesn't give you any reason or right to break a law. My contract is a state law. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jack Dean. I'm the DLC 741 president for SEIU 1000. So I got a list of things here, things that I'm not supposed to talk about. Let's talk about them. Can we turn these speakers around? I want these people back here to hear me. I don't care. These people all heard me talk. I love you all, but I want them to hear me. Closing CCC won't save a single tax dollar. It's fiscally irresponsible. When we asked them to provide the reasons why they were closing CCC, what they gave us was a fabricated document full of nothing but lies. They provided maintenance costs that were millions of dollars above what they actually are. They don't want us to talk about the $40+ million that they just spent on CCC in the last 2 years on a medical facility and a dining facility. They don't want us to talk about what's going to take place in Lassen County. What's going to happen when we lose $140 million of annual revenue? This is being done due to incompetence and a complete lack of ability to plan. They don't want me to talk about the political power that's used to retaliate against an entire community because they don't know how to handle opposition from the people that they govern. Every elected official in this building has the duty to represent us, the people. That's what they were voted in to do. Through this process, there's been no transparency from the state. Every time we've walked into a building to talk to them, we get it because we said so. We're going to do it. We're just going to do whatever we want to do, regardless of how you feel. This has to stop. We were told this is a work site closure, not a workforce reduction. But then we're told there'll be no such thing as involuntary transfers. It's not going to take place. Well, in our contract, we have involuntary transfers. They would have to pay for every dime that it costs every single one of these people to go somewhere else. But instead, they're going to displace everyone and bully everyone and say, hey, I'll tell you what, sign up for our VTP. It's a voluntary transfer process. You can have the voluntary transfer process or we're going to lay you off. Voluntary transfer gives you $1,500 in 3 days. How many of you can move out of Susanville on $1,500 in 3 days? They're putting this on the backs of us and our families, and it must stop now. The state is putting the expense of this closure on all of us, on the people that it represents, and it must stop now. I hope you're all listening up there very close. We aren't going anywhere. We're just getting started. Our community will not be destroyed. We will expose the corruption behind this closure. We will be heard. So help me God, we will have justice for every single state worker that is affected by this and for every single member of Lassen County that is affected by this. Calm down for a minute. Thank you, Richard. All of this is possible for all of us because of Richard Brown. I can't even say anything after that. I'm just going to let him speak. Thank you.
Okay, I'm told to hurry up, say a few words, and get off the stage. You know, I have the script here. Now I'm going off script. So before I get started, we're going to have all the speakers come up. And I'm going to make sure I have the sign in my hand. I'm going to steal that from you. You see the sign? Do you see the sign? Okay. Okay. In fact, can you, the green sign, sir, please come up for a second. We're going off script. We're going four-wheeling. All right? Now, I know you're saying, what does he know about four-wheeling? Okay. You see the sign? Save our rural communities. Keep CCC open. Yeah? See, thank you. When I came up there a few weeks ago, it was a town hall meeting, and I couldn't get my Facebook to work, so I couldn't put that video up. And I counted three other people who looked like me. So we were 4 musketeers in Lansing County, and I still felt safe. All right? When I told you today it's not just about Lansing County, it's about enforcing our contract, I mean that. It's about showing people equal love and equal respect, regardless of what color you are, regardless of what political party you belong to in this great country. Now, I heard some people say, oh, let's recall the governor. But you didn't hear me say that. You didn't hear Local 1000 say that. We want to show people love and respect. And even though the board voted to do that on June 2nd to oppose the recall, and we're going to respect the vote of the board of Local 1000. And so I'm asking everyone to respect the fact that I'm the Local 1000 president, because respect is respect. And by respecting the vote of the membership that put me in this position, I should be able to fight for everyone equally. Okay? In fact, voting still matters in this great country. Now, you heard the retired warden tell you there is no reason for this prison to close. But see, it's worse than that. And as a black man in this country, when I see racism, I'll call it out. But let me tell you what I see in Lansing County. I'm going to say this, and I told you up there a few weeks ago, but you didn't think I'd say it down here in Sacramento. The only reason why they're closing this prison, because you voted, and because small-town conservative white folks voted, now the prison is closing. And I can tell you from the bottom of my heart, if you were in the inner city and your name was Jaquisha or Devontae, and there was many of Jaquisha and Devontae's working at a state prison, that state prison would not close. Now, I know the people from Lansing County, you can't say that because you would be deemed a racist. So let me say it for you. This is wrong. Now, you heard what Mr. Bridges said. What is right, and what is wrong. And the last thing the powers to be ever thought was that the small-town girl who thought she was so lonely would run into the boy, but not from South Detroit, from St. Louis. And so they together said, don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling. Not to the numbers, but hold on to that feeling. Because the wheel in the sky keeps turning. And on this journey that we're on, we don't stop. We don't quit. Lansing County does not roll over. Local 1000 does not roll over. We will enforce our contract. You heard Sophia Perkins say this. Okay? Now, I know a lot of people don't like to rock and roll. I love to rock and roll. But hear me clearly. I still have my faith in God through Jesus Christ while I'm rocking and rolling. Okay? Because I believe in keep your head to the sky, because the clouds will surely tell you why. And one day together, not divided by our color or our race or our religion or our political party, we will find peace in every way. Thank you for your time. Now listen, we're going to walk these petitions into the state capitol, and then we're going to come back out. And God has blessed us that the day is not too hot. Remember they kept telling you, don't come down, you're going to die in the sweat? That didn't happen, did it? We're doing just fine. All right, so give us a few minutes and we'll come right back out. Thank you for your time.
you.